Good afternoon. Welcome aboard. Happy Thursday to you. John McGiness with you. News 93.1 KFBK. Hope you're having a great day on this actually very, very nice day out there. A lot of things going on. I'm going to drill right into something that I find it caught my eye, and I think it will be of interest to you and many, many, many others. This is out of Los Angeles County, and just to give you a little civics update, there are 58 counties in the state of California. Each of them is represented by, I should say, the political representation is through a board of supervisors comprised of 5 individuals elected on a district basis to represent the residents of the various counties, with the exception of San Francisco, because it's a combined city and county. I think they have 9 supervisors. So that's, depending upon where you live, anywhere in the state of California, ultimately your life will be influenced and affected by members of the board of supervisors. So there's no place in the state where you don't have that arrangement. You have city councils, special districts, but the board of supervisors will always be there. So in Los Angeles, this county board of supervisors recently took a rather significant step. They passed a motion. This is a matter of funding a program, funding something. And as you look at all of the challenges facing the state of California and certainly the counties therein, to include the most populous county in the state of California, not the biggest geographically, but 10 million people in Los Angeles County, 88 cities in the county of L.A., and, of course, tremendous diversity in terms of extraordinary affluence and Skid Row, all in the same county. So as you look at the challenges, the problems, the issues confronting the taxpayers, residents, voters, consumers living and working and visiting the county of Los Angeles, it's big, and they have a lot of considerations. What they have funded now is a civil defense justice unit, which might seem just at face value like something maybe could be good, right? Who will they represent? Who will they attend to? Who will be their clients, if you will? Well, it will be justice-involved individuals. And again, unless you have paid particular attention to recent developments in peace speech, you might think, okay, justice-involved individuals. I like that, because I think each of the 58 district attorney's offices in the state has a victim witness or victim unit that helps victims of crime navigate the system as they have to go back for relentless, recurring legal proceedings to testify. And for people who have not been around that much, it goes on and on and on and on. You will get subpoena after subpoena calling you back to testify for various hearings along the way. And this, after you have been a victim of a crime already, is pretty extraordinary. So if you think about somebody taking a step to go beyond that to provide better services to people who are involved in the justice system in that form or fashion, I mean, people who were going about their business, minding their own details and affairs, and they find themselves at the hands of somebody who does horrible things to them or to somebody else, and they witness it. Now they get sucked into this, and the expectation is that they be a good citizen, that they work towards justice by showing up at again, subpoenas ad nauseum to show up. If you've been a victim of a crime or a witness to a crime, a significant criminal act, you know what I'm talking about. But that's not who they're serving here. Justice involved in contemporary times represents an entirely different group of people. This is the new politically correct term for criminal defendants. So these are the people on the other side of the issue. These are people who have robbed individuals. These are people who have raped and assaulted individuals. These are people who have committed significant crimes against individuals who had done nothing wrong at all. These are people who are not voluntarily in the criminal justice system. Criminal defendants, people who have been charged, and the idea is to help them with various civil proceedings, including obtaining public benefits. Yes, they'll take them by the hand and show them how to get public benefits. Help them through family court issues, because God forbid they lose custody of their kids just because they're a crook. It will help them with immigration issues, employment law issues. Certainly they should not be subject to the loss of employment simply because they've engaged in horrific criminal conduct against another human being. Notably, in this particular case, the Board of Supervisors did not see fit to assist with the civil needs of those who have become involuntarily involved in the criminal justice system, that is, the victims. There is no catch-all service for legal representation in civil proceedings by the district attorney's office at all. Now, there are, as I say, there are certainly units within DA's offices that do what they can to help people, kind of shepherd them through the process. They may have help with cab fare or parking or other accommodations that people have as people experience this need to go back again and again and again and again, simply to bring justice to a situation where justice was denied. It's a pretty horrifying set of circumstances. Interestingly enough, this all started as a motion from Supervisor Solis, who stated that the proposed civil justice unit would prevent the manifestation of chronic consequences, often financial, which too often tear at the fabric of our communities, preventing sustained collateral consequences provided by a prophylactic measure against homelessness, recidivism, family dysfunction, and disparities in childhood opportunities. They are jumping through hoops to attend to the needs of the criminal element. What the supervisor wrote about criminal defendants is doubly true for crime victims. This is, by the way, part of a missive put forth by Michelle Hannessy from the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. She writes that what Supervisor Solis wrote about criminal defendants is doubly true for crime victims and their families who, unlike the defendants, did not choose to become justice involved. The fallout for victims because of trauma, injury, and economic loss often leads to the consequences listed by Supervisor Solis. Victims of crime need legal assistance with public benefits, family court issues, immigration issues, employment issues, and other civil issues. But despite having the right to an attorney under Marcy's law, they typically cannot afford one. So if this is rearing its head in Los Angeles County today, it's a question of time before it rears its head in other counties throughout the state. And I have to believe that if you look at the demographic makeup of different counties, you'll kind of be able to predict where this may occur in the future. And I have to believe that Sacramento County could be subject to that kind of a proposal. Whether or not it gets off the ground would be dependent upon probably a simple majority by the tightest of margins on the Board of Supervisors. Emergency funds, which are rarely provided in Los Angeles, are capped at $300 for victims. Fleeing an abusive environment are at times in need of diapers for their babies, clothing, hotel vouchers, relocation, medical supplies, transportation, food, and additional support for the necessities of the first 24 to 72 hours after a victim of a crime. Especially victims of domestic violence and human trafficking are often in need of career training and personal empowerment classes to break the cycles of victimization. They need legal assistance to obtain housing when they have low credit scores or no credit history at all. Rape and assault victims may need self-defense and safety classes. Of course, a court restitution order is worth the paper it's printed on without a mechanism to enforce that order. So how do you feel about this? How do you feel about, as a taxpayer, funding a unit that specifically addresses the needs of the criminally accused? Now, bear in mind, these criminally accused have an absolute right, a constitutional right, to legal defense. That legal representation that's never been in question. In each of the counties in the state of California, there is a public defender that works as at the taxpayer's expense. They also have conflict counsel that can be brought in to assist when the need arises. And by the way, these are good lawyers. They do a good job for their clients. But the taxpayers provide that resource, and that's never in question. As offensive as it may be to some people who have not experienced this, that's part of the system in which we work. It's a constitutional mandate. It's got to be respected. This goes beyond that. This is providing them with hand-holding and comforting because they have found themselves in the justice system. But again, it's voluntary on their part. They have chosen the path that put them in the criminal justice system, unlike their victims. You feel good about this. Do you want to see that happen? Do you want to see it coming to a county near you? If you live in Sacramento County, I would be willing to bet that this will become an issue at some point. And it will be on a very, very narrow margin. It may pass, it may not, but I would anticipate that it will get a couple of votes on the Board of Supervisors in Sacramento County. If you're in Placer, El Dorado, probably less likely. Probably less likely based upon the political makeup of those counties. So that's where we are. That's something that I think will be coming our way. It's certainly in play now. It's funded in Los Angeles County. What do you think about it? Are you supportive of this? Local callers, 916-921-1530. Long-distance callers, 800-834-1530. Your calls, much more conversation coming up right after this. Don't go away.